Hello and welcome to Coding with the Raspberry Pi, presented by the Contra Costa County Library. This video will cover how to access the GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi, how to use a breadboard to connect jumper wires, LEDs, and resistors, and use Scratch to turn the LEDs on and off. The Raspberry Pi 3 Model B Plus has 40 pins. Each Raspberry Pi kit contains this chart with information on what each pin is designed to do. First, we want to connect the LED to the breadboard. The LED has two legs, one longer than the other. Connect the short leg, the negative side, to line 7 of the breadboard, and connect the long leg, the positive side, to line 9. Make sure the legs of the LED are pushed in all the way. You can choose any combination of lines. I am using lines 7 and 9 as an example. However, the short negative side must connect to a ground pin on the Raspberry Pi. Next, connect the receiving end of a jumper wire to the ground pin number 6 and the receiving end of a jumper wire to GPIO 18 on pin number 12. Connect the other end of the jumper wire connected to pin number 6 to any hole on row 1 of the breadboard. Connect the other end of the jumper wire connected to pin number 12 to any hole on row 9 of the breadboard. Next, add the resistor to line 7 and line 1. This will create a circuit providing power to the LED. You must always use resistors to connect LEDs to the GPIO pins of the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi can only supply a small current. The LEDs will want to draw more, and if allowed to, they will burn out the Raspberry Pi. Resistors are a way of limiting the amount of electricity going through a circuit. You will be using a 330 ohm resistor. You can identify the 330 ohm resistors by the color bands along the body. Now that the resistor, LED, and jumper wires are connected to the breadboard, we can power up the Raspberry Pi. Select Scratch 3 from the Program menu and wait for it to load. After Scratch loads, the first thing we need to do is add an extension. Select the icon at the bottom left of the page and select the Raspberry Pi GPIO extension. This will add 4 blocks that will allow Scratch to access the GPIO pins. We are now ready to start coding. Let's start with choosing an event. We will use this block, which will start the code when you select the green flag. Click, hold, and grab the block and drag it to the workspace. We then want to go back to our Pi blocks and choose Set GPIO to Output. Slide that underneath our first block, and we then need to choose the correct pin. We are using GPIO 18, so select the drop-down menu and choose 18. Leave the output set on high. High turns the pin on. We now need to control what happens next. Choose the wait block, slide it under the Pi block, and change the amount of seconds you want the light to be on. I'm choosing 3 seconds. Go back and grab another Set GPIO to Output block and slide it under the control block. Make sure to select GPIO 18, and this time change the output to low. This will turn the pin off. We are now ready to start our code by clicking on the green flag. As you can see, the light turns on for 3 seconds and then turns off. You can experiment with different blocks to repeat the code and to add additional lights and controls. The Raspberry Pi is a great tool to learn about coding. Good luck and have fun creating. Thank you for watching.